In today's world, it seems like more and more companies are trying to branch out into new ventures for one reason or another. Whether it be that they think it'll bring them more profit, or they think it could create more jobs, or just because they have a new idea that they think will make them better. They try and grow with every opportunity they get. Apple has never been one to settle in one field of technology, but now they're aiming for the biggest branch off yet by making the Apple Car. But are they really ready for all that this will bring? Allow us to show you why Apple's expansion into cars will affect the company. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. A new branch for them to go up on. Apple may have started out as a computer company, but they went and did all sorts of innovations along the way that helped make them an even bigger and grander company. They dove into the music industry and revolutionized it via iTunes and the iPod, among other technologies that they helped build. Then, of course, they went and did the phone industry by making the iPhone, which, despite having some early setbacks, is still a top-selling phone model to this day. And of course, they've done other things that have had smaller impacts on the world, like with accessories, bringing the mouse to computers and so on. But with the Apple Car, they're aiming to go and do yet another revolution by going to a different branch of tech entirely, the car industry. Something that Apple can honestly say they've never even touched upon before. When you think about it in the grand scale, the iPod, the Mac, the iPhone, and even iTunes are all really just computer technology in different aspects and formulas. But with the Apple Car, that's something different entirely. That's not just computer parts, that's large-scale machinery and easily the biggest machine they've ever built, until you count their $5 billion headquarters. So this is going to be a challenge for them right off the bat because they've never done anything close to this scale of technology and potential innovation. Which makes you wonder, what will the car be like exactly? Number 6. The Apple Car. The Apple Electric Car Project, codenamed Titan, is an electric car project undergoing research right now at the company. Apple has yet to openly discuss any of its self-driving research, but around 5,000 employees were reported to be working on the project as of 2018. And now we're in 2021, and they're claiming that this thing is still being made. Thus, it's not something that just a few people are toying around with. They're really trying to make this happen. They're also apparently working on a shuttle bus idea, which shows that they're already looking to expand where they can if possible. A couple key elements that you might have missed is that this is going to be an electric car, and quite possibly a self-driving one. This is a dual threat that makes the Apple Car immediately applicable to what is going on right now with the car industry. Because after so long, many industries are trying to bring electric cars to the average Joe by making sure they're both efficient and cheap. Tesla is the #1 brand out there, but if Apple pulls off what they feel they can do, they might just be a challenger. Right now, everything with the Apple Car is either speculative or secretive, which makes it hard to discern what is fact and what is fiction. But with Apple, you can expect innovation at most turns, such as with number 5, the battery. If you're making an electric car, you need to have a good battery for it, and we're talking about making a good battery in order to make it run for a long time. Because an early problem with electric cars was that they could work, but they had limited range or had to be charged more frequently than gas-powered cars needed to be refueled. So Apple needs to make sure their battery is good, else they'll be left behind. But reports are saying that they're already way ahead on that front. Apple plans to use a unique monocell design that bulks up the individual cells in the battery and frees up space inside the battery pack by eliminating pouches and modules that hold battery materials, one source close to the car project said. Apple's design means that more active material can be packed inside the battery, giving the car a potentially longer range. Apple is also examining a chemistry for the battery called LFP, or lithium iron phosphate, which is inherently less likely to overheat and is thus safer than other types of lithium-ion batteries. What this all boils down to is that the battery that Apple is making might just be revolutionary, or at least revolutionary for the electric car industry. This is something that could not just work to make their own personal car better, but it could go and be sold to other car companies for a good profit and thus make another revenue stream for Apple. Either way, if their tests work out, they have a big chance of making a big leap forward by the time the car is done. Number 4. Rivals. A byproduct of going into an industry that you yourself aren't associated with is the fact that it means you're throwing down the gauntlet to those who are already there. As we've noted before, companies like Tesla are leading the way in the electric car world. But with Apple now trying to enter the fray, things could absolutely change. You have to wonder how certain companies will respond to the fact that Apple is basically waltzing in here and saying that they're going to make an electric car better than the people who have literally been making it for years. For example, Elon Musk has been working hard at Tesla to try and keep improving their batteries for their cars. Upon hearing what Apple might be doing with theirs, he might get new inspiration for things that he could do with Tesla's cars, and thus make a better battery himself before Apple gets done with their car. Of course, the opposite is also true in that by the time the Apple car comes out, it could have an innovation that Tesla and the other companies didn't even think about, and now everyone wants it in their electric cars. In cases like this, competition can breed excellence, which is exactly what we need in the electric car industry to try and get those cars on the road. Number 3. Changing how they make things. As noted earlier, the various products of Apple can all be derived from the idea of making computer tech in one form or another. But for the Apple car, they're making things that are beyond that in many ways. Apple is going to have to change things in order to make this new project work and be seamless. Making a vehicle represents a supply chain challenge, even for Apple. It took Elon Musk's Tesla 17 years before it finally turned to sustained profit-making cars. So in short, Apple is taking a major risk by not just designing this car, but saying they're going to make it themselves. That means new buildings, new routes to get the materials and supplies, and so on. It'd be fair to say that many aren't sure they can pull it off, but some feel that they absolutely can. If there's one company on the planet that has the resources to do that, it's probably Apple. But at the same time, it's not a cell phone, said a person who worked on Project Titan. But here's the rub. Even if they get the pipeline working, it'll take them a while to fine-tune things to make it as smooth as possible. Tesla had to find that out the hard way, as do other companies making electric cars. So Apple may pull it off in the end, but their beginnings might be a little rough. Which might also be a reason why we haven't heard from the Apple car in years. Number 2. Interior design. Alongside this being an electric car and a self-driving one, some speculate that Apple might go the extra mile in trying to make the Apple car a technological marvel from the interior perspective as well. One that can plug into all of their Apple products and give passengers the most entertaining ride of their lives. That's something that the other car companies aren't really focusing on, because they're focusing on just making their electric cars run well and be cheap enough to buy. But Apple might try to go above and beyond in order to make sure that their company's first car really stands out both inside and out. Number 1. Apple car expectations. There's a lot of speculation about what might just happen with the Apple car. The other thing is that at present, the belief around the Apple car is that it'll be ready by 2024, which means that's another couple of years of innovations, renovations, and so on to help make sure that the vehicle is the best thing it can be. Can Apple pull this off? Sure, but as is the Apple way, what it might be right now might not be what we get when the time comes. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the Apple car and what Apple is facing with its creation? Do you think that Apple is biting off more than they can chew with this new bit of technology they're making? Do you think they'll show that they know what they're doing and make a killing off of it? Or do you think that by the time it's made, it'll basically be obsolete? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.